one.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm ready to rock. Where the hell is everybody?
Well,
Let's
we
get going.
got 7
let
minutes.
I'll turn my phone off too.
We got 16 people, almost 20 people on already.
Oh, so last night I watched David, Tom Bilyeu.
Yeah.
And some Jim Quick.
Yep.
It's a 2-hour blog on in times of fear, how do we make the most out of life? Super good. He was the one that talked about the 10,500 push-ups. 10,500. Now I'm thinking about Colin, 78. What's your goal when you're done with the virus, Colin? How many?
Haven't even thought that far ahead. I haven't tested myself in a while, so 78 was a very long time ago.
Derek's saying 100 a day. Nice.
Whoa, Derek.
I dated a guy years ago, and at the end of every day, he did 10 push-ups, 10 crunches, 10 something else, and he was stellar hot. And it was just that little daily something that when you think over a lifetime or even a month, right, how many that is? So 40 times 30, I'm already doing 1,200. Just not in a day.
So we're going to start in about 5 minutes. It's about,
all right.
I got 9:54.
All right.
So we'll just, so I don't have my Q&A thing. What do I do for that?
Oh, so did I tell you I heard back from Art, the sign dude? I'll get that up too, just so that people can see. He's ready to rock and he's able to work because he, works out of his home. So he does the printing. His print shop's part of the house.
So we'll bring that up. Colin, should I hit my Q&A button or not?
No, do you want to do Q&A? You said you wanted to hold Q&A till next week.
How are we going to know their questions if I don't?
Well, I can get the questions.
Okay. I don't need to.
But if you want to hold on to them for next week, then I'll gather them and then we'll put them together and we'll do another Q&A next week. I would rather have you focused on Robin and not playing with your computer.
No, what I'm asking you is how are you going to get them if I don't need to hit the Q&A button then.
I've got Q&A on my side.
Perfect.
So Saul, I think Colin's got it pegged. If you don't have to,
I don't do shit.
Colin,
I'm not touching
take over Q&A. Colin?
Yep, I got it.
I'm going to watch it so that way Saul and I can just free flow and then, oh goody. And then I can screen share. Spiffy.
Yeah, that's cool. That works.
So I will answer one question from the Q&A here. Somebody's wondering why they can't see themselves. This isn't a normal Zoom call. This is a webinar. So this is going to be a conversation between Robin and Saul. So it's a little bit different than your average Zoom call where everybody's up on like a grid and everyone can see everybody else.
Yeah, so we'd have 50, right now we have over 30 people would be on the screens and be a little distracting, I think.
That would be a lot.
All right, right now you're up to about 30. So that's good. I'm glad everyone's there. We'll start in a few minutes, but yeah, it's definitely changing times, which we'll talk about. A lot of opportunity too, though.
And Sully, are you going to reach out to corporate about corporate designed signs?
For that says what?
I think we need a corporate design 2 sign. We're Estee's taking a board for us and flipping it inside out and putting it like right by the front door of our listings that says, here's the health protocol.
Right.
Remind people how it's supposed to be in case the agents aren't paying attention. At least the buyer will see, hey, aren't I supposed to only be in here?
Colin, is Sadie on this call, do you know?
Sadie is not yet here, I don't think.
So I was wondering if maybe.
But Sadie is working on something like that already.
Okay. And then the other one is something that goes on our signs that says real estate is still available for showing one-on-one, because our for sale signs are up, but it's amazing how much of America doesn't know that they could actually call and get in. So we need to do that. Hey, Teddy. So yeah. All right. Do we start on time? We got 3 minutes. Shit, I'm ready to go. I'm rocking.
I think we both are.
Oh, so I'm going to talk about something else I saw that was super good on generosity. I thought it was really important. And it was about assuming a positive position of the other person's stance. So to be generous of spirit. Because there's a lot of people that are super freaked out right now.
Well,
It's
that's
crazy.
why we're here.
This is the good stuff. This is the good times. This is when we hone our craft and we shed all the agents who shouldn't be in real estate. It's the thinning of the herd.
Yeah, it is, you know? And that's what we're going to go through here in a minute. Just a couple of last notes.
Okay. I have so many handouts in front of me.
Okay, so what time we got, guys? 9:58. We're going to be ready to roll. We're up to 50. Wow, we're up to,
waiting.
we're up to 50, we're up to 55 people. Way to go, team.
Yay. I don't know. Is my screen showing, Colin? I don't know if it'll show, but oh, it's so beautiful out today. Can you see?
Yeah, gorgeous.
Can you see my tree?
We can see your trees.
Isn't it beautiful, all in pink?
Oh, yep, you can see the cherry blossoms there, yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Okay, it says we're live now.
Oh,
Are we live
all right.
now?
Get your shit together.
Okay,
We've been live.
We're at 9:59. So we know we're live. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
We got about 1 minute before we start.
Okay.
And, we're up to 65 people. Congrats. Thanks, guys.
Go
Sounds good.
family.
And I'm going to go over the at 10 o'clock. I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of a few things. I'll wait till my phone says 10, then we're going to go. So I got 1 minute. So we're sticking to the schedule. The goal, of course, is to go over a lot of material. We're going to take it step by step and kind of go through it with you. So it is now 10 o'clock. We're going to get started. Welcome, everybody. I know that these are uncharted territories. And bottom line, Wizard of Oz, we're not in Kansas anymore. And so I hope you understand that. We are not in Kansas anymore. And we all realize that. You know, I've been doing this for 45 years. But I see a lot of recessions and a lot of different things, almost depressions, almost gone broke, all that good stuff. But I realize this time is different. I realize we're dealing with a virus. We've never had to do that before. And I realize we're locked down and basically the economy's shut down because for the right reasons. We've got to do health, and then health again. And if it wasn't for that, if we weren't locked down for the right reasons, you had a bigger issues because you'd have this virus all over the country and you have a lot more deaths and paranoia and you'd be in a deeper recession. Now we're in a planned recession, the economy's home, and the government's just saying, hey, here's money. Now we want to maintain the best we can the people that are in place. And they don't worry about the recovery money. Here's trillions of dollars for maintaining. So we did send out emails that Phil McBride, some of you already signed up for the SBA loans. I'd be doing that as soon as possible because that money will run out. And also you can go to treasury.gov and there's also money there. The government, for the first time, you got to realize it's the first time the government has basically said we're going to go to recession. It's a planned self-induced recession. And basically the main thing is we need a vaccine or a medical solution. We all know that. Today, it's really about getting ideas and solutions and putting some in place. But I want to make sure you guys are doing your part. And you realize, first of all, there's money out there. If you're not signed up for Zoom, that's how we're going to be communicating. This is going to be our goal is to have a platform like this at least once a week and with different agents or different guests, depending on what we're needing. If you have any questions for me, or if you have topics that you'd like us to cover, you can email me at saula@johnlscott.com. We have a few ideas, but we'd love to hear from you, your topics. But if you don't know Zoom, it's free now. And someone just told me they took away their 40-minute limit, whatever that, so you can go longer. If you don't have Zoom now, if you're not checking your emails, because I'm not that person, I don't check my emails, you're not in Kansas anymore, okay? In other words, the way we're getting the information out, whether it's coming from me, Jim, Shai, or whatever, is it's coming from emails. There's been some good stuff out there. And so you just have to get back in the habit of doing emails. Now I'm going to be doing less emails and it's going to come from mainly Jim and Shai unless I'm doing a video. If you're not watching my videos, sorry, you're losing perspective and you're losing information that you need to have. So for yourself, but also it's going to help with your clients. So I did one yesterday. I know it's longer. I'm going to get them down.
It was awesome,
minutes.
Saul.
Pardon me?
It was so good.
Thank you. So
incredible.
that one was 25 minutes, but you need to be intentional when you listen to it. I'd listened to the one from last week. from this point on, I'm going to try to do them under 10. And then stay, but there's so much to go over because we're going through transitioning times. I want to give you guys perspective. So it's up to you whether you listen to them or not listen to them. The information we give you, whether you sign up for Zoom, check your email, don't check your email. We're going to give you all kinds of solutions. We have a lot of TOP, time on planet, whether it's leadership, whether it's agents like Robin and many others. We have so much TOP and experience, life experience, all kinds of experiences. We're here to help and support you because we're all in this together. And where everyone's trying to navigate it together, even the government. The government says, here's all this trillions of dollars, then they're going to keep throwing money at it if there's holes. Look at our industry. 1 minute we couldn't do real estate, Saturday afternoon we could, and now we're doing staging and photography. Everything is fluid because we've never been here before. One thing I do know, we're very solution oriented. We're going to be on offense, and we're going to have a plan and program in place. So I'm not going to take up too much time today. With me, you guys get enough of me. Today's all about Robin. And so I want to give a little backstory on Robin because some of you don't know her. Some of you really don't know me. If you're newer to the company, you might know my name or Robin's name, but I want to kind of give a little backstory. Robin and I have been together 30 years. She started with me about a little over 30 years ago in the Skyway office. Well, we had a Skyway office up there. And Jim was up there. That's kind of, we started that a long time ago. Anyway, when Robin was new, I would say, well, Robin, where you been? Don't forget she's new. So I was in my 30s. I mean, she was like 10. Oh, I'm home and I'm working, only to find out 30 years ago, she was home watching soap operas, hiding, right? So and then she's gone through a lot of things personally and professionally, which she'll go through, and the challenges that she's going through, we went through them along her life, and what she's going through now, the challenges she's going through right now. Fast forward to today, because we've had a long journey together. Now she lives in her dream home in Medina with a beautiful view. It's a great party house. I've been there. Beautiful home in Medina. That was always her dream. She has a place in Whistler. That was her dream. Rental houses, a great husband, great son and daughter-in-law, and her life is very fulfilled and blessed. So today, what I'm really going to start with is I want Robin to go through with us, and she, of course, she's been one of our top producers for years. I want Robin to go through us, kind of what she's been through, the challenge she's gone through, a day in the life of Robin, what she's doing for mindset challenges, just a little bit of everything. We're going to start with that. Then we're going to go to what she's been doing for listing presentations virtually, because she's been doing that over 5 years virtually. In fact, yesterday she told me she had to go on a live presentation the other day and she was sweating. So for over 5 years, she's been going over listing presentation virtually. And she'll talk about whether she does what she does in pre-listing. Then we'll do also buyers, what she does with them. So we're going to start with that. We got a whole list. Now, I know you're going to have a lot of questions. So what we decided to do is please bring your questions in, and Colin will help with that. And then our goal is to keep in a flow. So if we have to do a follow-up next week with all your questions and answers, then Robin's agreed to do that so we can stay in flow today. Well, we definitely want your questions and bring them in, or you can email them to me. So we cover whatever next week when we figure out when that day is, and time is according to Robin's schedule. And we're going to keep this thing going. And like I said, we'll bring in other agents for other topics as we keep going. We want this to be our platform. Okay, so Robin, why don't you take it away and give us what Robin's all about, the challenge you've been through, and a day in the life of Robin Root James.
Thank you very much, Saul. Hey, guys who haven't seen Saul's video, it was so good. One thing I really believe in is keeping routines, and we've got so much shit coming at us right now. If you can either have a second file folder called videos to watch. I like to do them at night, so I was finding I was losing over an hour since this virus started with all these emails and videos. If I really need to know, it's in big caps, but otherwise I'd rather do it when it's on my off hours. So I'm watching it with full presence versus going, God, I don't have time to watch this right now, and I'm watching it kind of skitterish, if that makes sense. So block out time for watching the video so that you keep learning. To give you an idea of how this crazy virus is affecting me, I actually was looking, I pulled up my 2 properties I own up in Whistler. Again, they're in the Pan Pacific. That hotel is closed right now. The rents last month, I own a couple units up there. One brought in $6,500, the other one brought in $4,500 to zero. So that's $11,000 worth of income I've lost there. On another rental, they're offering $1,000, rent's $3,500. She's the manager of El Gaucho here in Bellevue, so she can't work. So I feel this. I don't want you guys to think that I don't feel this either. And when I did my 6 months planning, I like to keep 6 months kind of ready, a stash of cash. Cash is king. If nothing else, if you're tight on cash, don't shoot on yourself or feel guilty or badly. Just learn the lesson once. Don't do it ever again, and give yourself a lot of cash in hand from this point forward. So when I planned for a 6 months, hey, umbrella of cash, I figured 20% vacancy rate. I'm at 75% vacancy rate right now. I'll still be fine. I always have been. And if 58 years on this planet has taught me nothing else, is that when life gets crazy like this, when you look back and you see yourself rise to the occasion, you'll gain a confidence in yourself, and you'll know this too shall pass, and that you won't auger in. You're going to make it through. One way or another, you'll still be here. And my gratitudes this morning, they were all about visual. I was blessed for having eyes that see, and that I can still now focus on, after I had my eyes done, on seeing things up close and personal, and the beautiful trees outside my window, and the blue sky, and watching the clouds go by. So life is so good. Start with keeping your routine so you keep your shit together through this time. If you didn't have a routine, now's the time. So I have not changed my routine. When I go to bed, when I get up, I actually have a app on my phone. I'm going to share it with you guys. You'll get a copy of all these, but I think you can see this. I got a 92% score last night on sleeping. Woo-hoo! Anything above 90 is an A, right? And if you can see it, even with all the shit hitting me, it shows how fast I was dead asleep. That's deep sleep in 3 minutes. So it's like anything. If you can track and measure, you'll figure out how to take good care of yourself. These are times where we need to be ninja strong, and that's health-wise too. So I'm actually going to bed a little earlier each night, just because if I brush past this virus and it gets to sniff test me and decide whether to jump in and try to make the fight, I want it to see me and be like, shit, this is not where I want to land. This woman's strong. She takes good care of herself. So I'm a vegetable eater anyway, but trying to eat more fruits and vegetables, get my water, because again, all your soldiers in your body need water in order to be able to move around and mobilize and fight. So take good care of yourself. I start my day with gratitudes. I end my day with gratitudes. I end my day with love. In the morning when we get up, husband is not to leave the bed to go brew the beans before he kisses me. That's just, I'll chide the shit out of him if he does, because we want to start with that, because it's just a good lesson in love. And to keep peaceful and calm. I watched an excellent blog last night by Tom Bilyeu, and he plays first shooter games. I don't play those. Kind of interesting though, but I get what his message was. And he says, when I'm playing this first shooter game and people are shooting at me and all the shit's coming at me and I feel so real, because what I've learned from that is to stay calm and peaceful when everyone else is freaking out. And I know that's a skill I've really gathered through this long-term relationship with real estate and with life in itself too. So monitor yourself constantly. I'll eat something. How'd that make me feel after I ate it? And I'll watch something and think, how do I feel after watching it? I've cut out the news. For me, if I need to do something, I feel confident that John L. Scott will let me know what I need to do. And I was finding that news was just freaking me out. It did not serve me. And I don't want to be in a place of fear, so I stopped watching. And instead, I'm watching some awesome podcasts or listening to awesome podcasts. And then YouTube, I've just put in Brene Brown, I love, she's awesome. Tom Bilyeu, Jim Quick. So find out who your people are that resonate and then have them get your message back to you. So let's see here. Your to-dos. There's so much coming at us. To not get scattered. I stole these were on Esteban's desk. It's a great, my to-dos. Write out at the beginning of each day. Mine today are 5. What are 5 things you really must get done? One of the blessings of this virus is with everything scattered. If you can focus on what matters, you'll get a new ninja skill on learning what's essential and how to do it. So essentialism, I love that word. Systematic discipline for discerning what is absolutely essential so we make the highest possible contribution toward the things that really matter. So what really matters? What do you need to look at? So to have a litmus test for yourself when a new email comes in, when the phone rings, when you're about to spend time on anything in front of you, does this matter? Is this worth my time? That's hopefully a lesson you can learn from as well. And start a file. On my computer, I have a file called Virus Times Stuff to Use. So if I hear a good quote or a good, like the ABCs, this is the one that came by Saul's ABCs for positive thinking. We took this, put it on a bright yellow background, added our logo to it, and that's in my PC file, my computer file. So I can attach it to all my emails when I hear someone feeling bummed out. So FYI. So Saul, anything else on my morning routine?
Yeah, I just want to make sure we stick to your whole daily schedule from beginning to when you go to bed. So they say, so they know you're working during the day. Are you calling? What are you saying? Who are you calling? Yeah. That kind of a thing.
So in March, we listed 5, and listed means they signed the MLS Form 1A. Then I always like top condition to get top dollar. So we're getting them ready. I think we have 3 of those that'll hit this month. 2 we're still not certain when they'll actually hit. So on my things to do each day, I'm personally working to have, this is my to-do list today. So this isn't just pulling this out of my ear. I've got a CMA to get done. I have a listing presentation that I want to get set up with a client. I have 5 strong connections I want to make where I speak to someone, past client in my database, listen to how they're feeling right now, see if I can help them hopefully feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that facts are facts. And when we know
excuse me one sec, Colin, I just got a text from Shai that it shows that we're maxed out at 100 right now, and there's people trying to get on. I don't know if we can do anything. Maybe on the back end, you can try to figure that out if we have to pay extra.
I'm taking a peek at it right now. I got the same text. I'm working on it.
Okay, thanks. Go ahead, Rob.
Yep.
Sorry.
Colin. So 5 connections, 5 strong connections. I hate to say I'm loving this time, but when you break it down and you're in a storm, which this is, and you've got to focus on what matters, I'm paying attention more than ever to people that have touched my life and who I've made a difference with, to reach back to them and see how they're doing. And there's so much out there that we don't know. When we can give them some solid information on what's going on, I'm using BuySide for that. So it looks like this. I'll pull them up on my database. I'll put in their address in BuySide. I'll make sure that there's 3 valuations there that make sense. Sometimes BuySide has 0. If it's new construction, BuySide won't work. So don't start talking to someone about sending them a monthly automatic valuation of their home if it's not going to work. So first you put in the address, and I make sure that it makes sense to me. And then I'm making a note in the database, the date that I entered them in BuySide, and what the 3 valuations are, and I'll round it. So it'll be like 1.1, 1.3, 1.2. just so that I've got an idea of what it is today, and then getting them signed up on this program. We've got 53 people signed up already for Buy-Side, and we have, so you've got that number, 1,016 people signed up for the John L. Scott updates.
So just to let you guys know on Buy-Side, I talked to Emmanuel 2 days ago, and Emmanuel told me Renton and Kent North from January 1st to March 10th, those 70 days or about, there were 68 listings taken from the 2 offices who were tied to Buy-Side. Now, I'm not saying that made the difference, but they had 60, they can tell 68 listings were taken, and those clients were in Buy-Side. So I would definitely recommend Lab 6 and 9, and you guys realize this is our sharpening axe time. If you want to come out the other side productive, more efficient, more profitable, then you're working on this shit now, and there's no excuses. You got the time. Sorry.
Exactly. What's also really cool about both the market updates and the Buy-Side is that once you've got your client set up for it, if you're at home scratching your belly, it's your day off, that program is still working for you, keeping you top of mind, giving you professional information that's relevant and on point. What's more relevant than seeing your house, which Buy-Side does, on the screen? It sends them their house on the screen and 3 updated valuations each month. And once it's up and set up, and you make a note in your database, we have a client type called Set Up for Online Valuation. Think how profitable and powerful my database will be when I decide to sell it someday, and I've got 1,000 people who are used to seeing me every month without me having to touch anything. It's awesome, super cool. So if you know what's essential to do and you count on yourself to do it, then I don't have fear right now. That's one of the great things, one of the very few fucking great things about getting old is soon you can trust yourself. So when the Pan Pacific Hotel shut down, they didn't even tell me. I just was like, hey guys, how you doing up there? When's the hotel, is the hotel still up and running? And they're like, no. I'm like, when did it stop? March 15th. I'm like, all right. That freaked me out. So I worked all my day, had a busy day, had a fun night planned, didn't do it, got in bed that night, and I started thinking, shit, am I gonna be okay through this? And as soon as I had that fear, my wonderful wise voice came in and said, you got this. You can sleep now. You won't forget that this was scary, and you can trust that tomorrow you'll do what needs to be done. You'll look at the numbers that are scary and you'll figure it out so that you have a plan in place to make it through. So if you're not sleeping at night, I'll bet that's because your inner core self is wise enough to know that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. The reason I'm so self-disciplined is because if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, I'm freaked out. I get fearful. I get a total lack of peace, and life is too precious for me to play in that arena. It's just, I won't do that to myself. So get a CMA done, nail a presentation, a listing presentation today, 5 strong connections with my database, deep dives, they're taking longer today. And with Buy-Side, and 1 new appointment, which they've reached out. I just need to get back to them, and 1 new listing signed. That's today.
Can you give us an example of what, maybe a conversation, what script you're using for today's database call, knowing the environment we're in today?
Got it. I kind of just have it from the heart. So one thing I'm really careful to do is turn off everything before every call. So people know if you're present or if you're not. So there's no notifications popping up on my phone. My phone is not anywhere where it could even catch my eye. All things on my desk are moved out of my way. The only thing in front of me is a yellow sheet of paper so that I can take some scratch notes while I talk to them. And I like, if I can, to do it via, I use GoToMeeting more than Zoom just because I'm used to it. That's when when I started video chatting. I don't think Zoom was out there. Well, GoToMeeting was, I think, the only choice back then. So if I called you, Saul, I'd first take a minute and I'd get myself, my countenance right. I'd clear my mind and I'd sit up straight and I'd kick out my chest and I'd be ready to call. And then I would read my notes about you and I'd spend a couple minutes. What did we talk about last? What was the house he purchased? How did that go? Why did he buy that one? And then I'd reach out, go something like this. We have a practice this, so Saul, play along.
Okay, I'm here.
Hey, Saul, it's Robin James. How are you?
Good, Robin. It's crazy times right now.
I know it is, Saul. And during these crazy times, it makes me kind of focus back on the people that matter to me. And in my gratitudes, one of the things I'm truly grateful for is the connection that we have. It's all about connections these days. And I really connected with you through the process. Thank you so much for trusting me to help you find the right house. Do you still love it there?
Yeah, we still love it now. And, it's good that you told us to get a home office because I'm using it now more than ever. What do you find is going on in the real estate industry? Is people buying or selling or just kind of holding off?
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. Let me give you kind of a rundown. I keep a calendar on it so that I have it, kind of the history of what's going on. So just so that you know in your brain, so I'll bet you still have my calendar, right?
Oh, sure, the garden one.
Visualize on that. I made a note that on the 25th of March, we all got shut down. Real estate stopped.
Right. Wow.
But then on Saturday, the 28th, a week ago tomorrow, the doors opened up again. And under strict protocol, which believe me, you know me, I honor the rules. We've got to do what needs to be done and stay safe. We're able to show real estate again. So where you are here in Bellevue, I did a run yesterday looking at what's gone on in 7 days, of which 3 of those days we couldn't sell real estate. There were 37 houses that came on the market. And guess what, Saul?
What?
17 of them sold.
Wow, already?
Yes.
Huh.
Let me share my screen with you, Saul, and I'm going to do this here. Hold on. Cut script. One of those things. Slap. I'm going to pull up.
Well, Robin's doing that in the Market Watch that Colin sent me. We had about 1,100 new listings in the last week from the Market Watch and about 1,600, over 1,600 pending. There's still buyers out there, but what I'm noticing is a few more price reductions. So if you have homes that have been on the market a while, it's time to readjust and realize that if you use yesterday's pricing, that was pre-virus pricing, and you have to maybe adjust now, which Robin can maybe talk about pricing later, how you price for today's market. But you got to stay on top of your listings now more than ever, because someone's going to get to the next level first. If it's not you with your listing, another agent will bring their listing down, will be the house to buy, and will be the next sell in that market area. And we'll see that with builders too. Now, they don't have that much standing inventory like last recession, so they don't have that much standing, but they'll get aggressive sooner or later if they have to. Go ahead, Robin.
Got it. So I'm going to share a screen here. Because again, let's just assume. You guys see my screen over here with the breakouts?
Right. Is that residential only or condo?
This is up here in the corner. You'll see it's residential and condo.
Got it.
And this is of all of King County. And this was for February. So before the virus, really.
Yeah.
But think about this. Down here in the corner, think what a great 2019. It was a historically wonderful. There was so much sales, lots of vibrancy. Since 2019, this is comparing February to February, there's 40% less houses available in all of King County in February. Think of that. Musical chairs, right? And then look at the amount of demand. Demand was up 29%. So you could see that we were set for one crazy spring market, right? Now we've been hit with this virus and it has switched things around. But people whose home was too small, who were working for Google, Amazon, Microsoft, they're still working. They're working from home. So there's still a lot of good in the economy. It just really depends on when you're planning on selling. But Saul, you'll be there for a while, won't you?
Oh yeah, we love our house.
And if you did sell, why would you sell?
I'll probably be close to the grandkids.
Where are they?
They're up north towards Ballard.
Got it. Got
One's
it.
in Maple Valley, so we don't know. Depends on my
Maybe-
wife.
Right, right.
But yeah, we'll probably go make a move sooner or later.
Okay. Well, I'll make a note to call Mary when we're done so we can talk about that one-on-one. Because
That's
I
a
know
smart
who rules,
move.
I know who rules the roost. So Saul, for you, are you still working?
Yeah, I'm still working, but my wife just got laid off, so it's going to be challenging here for a while.
Got it. So can I send you some stuff? It's good stuff. I'll show you what, one of the things I think that helps me through this time is to kind of just keep a positive attitude. So I've got a sheet of that. Boy, it's nice to look at. And I was thinking about you and thought you may enjoy that too.
I would love anything positive right now because right now I'm trying to stay away from the news, but it gets on, and so I can get pretty messed up in the head pretty quick. So yeah, anything you could send me to help keep me centered during this time that none of us have ever been through before. I really appreciate it, Robin.
Wonderful. I'll send you that. And then I know that news can really get crazy. So what I can do for you too, Saul, is we've got some investing that we've been doing in software that's spectacular. And what it'll do is simply show you 3 online valuations of what your home's worth. It's just a broad spectrum. When you and Mary really look into moving, you'll need to give me a call, but at least it'll give you a broad scope of what's truly going on once a month about your specific home. How's that sound?
Well, right now I'm home a lot. My wife's home a lot, so we're reading whatever comes our way that makes sense and listening to whatever. So you got a captivated audience, Robin, right now.
Great. Is there anything else I can do for you, Saul?
No, I really appreciate the call and that you thinking of me. It means a lot to me right now, more than ever. Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Big hug to you. Big hug to Mary. Take care, and I'll check back in a few months.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks, Robin.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Great call.
Something like that seems to work really well, I think.
Sometimes we just have to realize, guys, we have to get on our own head, out of our own heads. I've said this in my last 3 videos probably, and realize we have to put ourselves in our client's shoes. Because if just she asked me how things are going, I'm working, my wife's laid off, but you're coming in all happy. You don't know if we're both laid off, I got furloughed, you don't know. So you just can't assume. You just have to take a few deep breaths and get clarity and stay intentional with your call, because you really don't know what's going on with their finances, their jobs, or anything, and maybe they don't either. Okay? So
Yeah, super true. And then if you don't have it already, things so I wonder what year it was, the positive.
I think it was the last downturn I gave that out at the company meeting.
It was. Saul, so is that like 2007?
Yeah, 2007, 2008.
So this is a great little book, and I'm super careful on where I spend my money. At the end of the year, I pull up all the money I spend in the business and I group it by pillar. How much did I spend on my ISA calling, Mojo dialer, expired dialer, and that's one pillar. So I can look at the profit and loss of all money spent. The best money I ever spend is simply putting back out to the people I've worked with, love. This is a great quote. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. Don't you love that? It's the Beatles. Some people quote the Bible. I quote the Beatles.
I love the Beatles. Hey,
And
one thing, there's a few quotes of us. One is, when you can't solve a problem, manage it. So
yeah.
This is one-liners, and whoops, sorry. And she does it to her VIPs or whoever she thinks now.
So I bought 2 big crates of it, like big crates of it. I don't know how many I have left, but I'm mailing a ton of these out. So that 3, remember my to-do list, that's connecting. And then these, if someone's scared or, if they'll use it, I let them know. I've got a great little book. I don't want to send you more stuff if stuff is simply going to overwhelm you. But here's a little bit that's in here that I love. And with 544 ways to stay upbeat during downtimes, it's really helpful to have a tool, rungs on a ladder that you can grab a hold of. So I love sharing those. Again, we'll get you the name and number if you like it.
Okay, so,
That's morning routine.
okay,
And then let's get into being productive at home. I think I covered that. I'm super careful with time. I'm off work at 6 o'clock. So I let my clients know my day starts at 8 and it goes till 6. Weekends are by appointment. And if we're in the middle of an offer situation, I will stay with you till 1 in the morning if I need to. I won't let you down or be, disappear on you. But typically I start at 8 and I go till 6. So in my morning routine, even if I happen to look on email and answer it, I put my phone on airplane mode. No messages go out to clients until 8 o'clock. And if someone responds and I happen to have my phone at night, I don't send it until the next morning, because you want people to know that they can count on you to do what you said. So if you said you're 8 to 6, and then one night you respond at 10 o'clock at night, you just broke your own rhythm. So don't do that. You get to decide what hours are good for you. But because I know, shit, it's 4 o'clock, I've got 2 more hours to get my essential list done, it really helps me push and get things done when they need to get done. So we went over being productive at home, disciplines. I guess the discipline for me comes by my essential love for peace of mind. And so if I know I can count on myself, then I have peace.
cool. So, okay, a couple things. Okay, so, we know, just like we're going, these days, I'm not going for perfect. I'm for getting things done. And that's always been a philosophy of mine, but I realize more than ever today, whether I'm doing videos or whatever. So when we set up Zoom, it's supposed to be for 300 people. And I know right now we're at about 116, 120. And so we're hoping that it should have 300. We have to figure that one out, and we will as we go. But in the perfect world, this is also being recorded, so we'll be able to also have that. So that's the ultimate goal. So before we move on, do you have anything else with the personal goals, whatever, before we move on to the next topic, so I can put in one thing I want to put in?
This is a great one. Can you read it? Goals. It says goals at the top, super small. Stay quiet about them. Smash the shit out of them. Clap for yourself. And repeat. Not fun? I like it.
Aha.
So one of the things I think that helps me through this is I have been through some super rough times. I had a husband I loved dearly, and he became a crack cocaine smoker. It's not my deal. And I was never even tempted to try it. I was immediately repelled by what he was doing. And I was so sad because we were in escrow to close on our dream home. It had bedrooms for babies. I was 26 at the time. I mean, my whole fucking world shattered. And I was so sad and so distraught that I was thinking, God, if I took these sleeping pills and ate a lot of them, that sure could solve this. It scared me so bad. I really freaked out when I had that thought. And immediately, because I was so freaked out about it, I went to emergency. They didn't know what to do with me at the hospital, but they sent me home and told me not to do it and told me to call my mom, and she came and stayed with me. Anywho, my point is I've had some low lows, some really low lows, but those were a long time ago, and they helped me learn how to grow and how to understand that even when I thought without that man, my life would never be complete, my life is better now than it would ever be with him. So even when this may look like the worst shitstorm you've ever been in, start looking for what it is that's really helping you become your better self. And it's probably because you're going to find your warrior. And when you reflect back and think of, where are we now? Here's the shut in, right? That was Wednesday, the 25th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just call it a week. If you did everything you did over the last 7 days, again, for the next 3 months, where would you be? Better than ever? Or would you be augured in because you are not on a good path? And I think taking the time to figure that out and be nice to yourself and change your course is going to make, this is going to separate the girls from the women, the men from the boys, the agents who should be in this business from those that have been driving you crazy, that do the onesies, twosies, and should not be. So see the silver lining here for sure.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We find every recession, everybody, you go through a cleansing. So anytime there's been a recession, every 10 to 12 years, no matter what started it, there's always a cleansing of businesses. Like I said, my whole thing was on my videos and before, in a good market, our pimples don't show, right? We have the Clearasil and the makeup, it doesn't show. During the downturn like we are now, going through recession, the self-induced recession, all the blemishes show, right? Tom liked to say about the brick and the straw, and nobody has an all brick house. We all have straw, some straw too. My straw is technology and video, so now part of my straw is becoming brick. So you got to understand, this is the time you strengthen, right? This is the time you say, okay, let's go. Because on the other side of this, there'll be agents who don't make it. There'll be restaurants that don't make it. There'll be companies that don't make it, but that's every recession. This is different, I understand, and that's fine. We don't control that. I focus on what I control. I focus on what I control. Before we move from this point, I want to go down to making sure you're also taking care of your finances. Because right now, every penny matters. Not every dollar, every penny. So I think I've said in my first video or second video, whatever, if you're not listening to my videos, you wouldn't know this. I've been making a list of all my payments and how much a month to those people, whether it's Verizon, whether it's all my home loans, car loans, everything, right? My monthly payments, and I'd be contacting them now, most of them online, right? And I'd get my it's already mandated by the government your home loans can be deferred if it's a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac type FHA loan. I'd get them deferred up to a year, depending what you qualify for. These are all mandated. And if you're a portfolio lender, you have to check with that lender, right? I get everything deferred for as long as I can, because all it does is you're going to pick it up when this thing goes away. But the government's going to control all that when we get the green light. We're far away from the green light. But Verizon, I'm negotiating. You know, the CEO the other day was on. He had like a couple 100,000 calls already. This was last week, and everyone's working with your payments. They've already got thousands and thousands of calls nationally. If you're not putting down your personal bills and your professional bills and putting a plan to it and reducing or deferring or negotiating like hell, then I'd be doing that like in the next couple of days, because they're already getting the calls. They're already doing it. You'll probably have to do it online because you'll be on phone. The only reason I wouldn't do it on my home loan is if I'm refinancing or I'm going to buy a home, right? Then I'm not going to screw up my credit or a blemish, no matter what they say, okay? So just realize you got to take control. You got to step up. You got to take responsibility of your personal life, your mindset, your finances, your emotions, the whole career. You got to step up like you never have before. And you got to protect what's coming in your mind, just like Robin or whatever. We don't watch the news. I do. I watch it in the morning to get caught up, and I watch it at night. That's it. I stay informed. I watch what I read. Everything's positive and update. If you're going to go down the hole and keep digging, right, you're going to go down a deep hole, because there's always going to be shit out there, because the media loves this time, these bad times. That's when the ratings are the highest, because everybody's glued. What else? What else? We already know what else. We already know there's going to be bad news because the events have already happened. The layoff number, the government told you, go get unemployed, we'll pay you. We're going to shut down the country. Of course, the unemployment numbers are going to go up, and they're going to be worse next month because everyone's just filing for unemployment, right? We know there's going to be more virus cases because there's more testing going on, right? So we already know that. So there's not much to know, right? If you want to do once or twice catch up, good, but you better stay focused and move the needle forward. And only you can take control of that. You know, so our goal here is to keep you guys moving forward and help you. And then again, you could email me and with other topics you'd like to cover. Because right now we have about 120 people on. So thank you. So Robin, where do you want to go next?
Are you going to do a session on affirmations at all? Just
I'm going to do a session. That's going to have to be a Zoom session on self-talk and affirmations. If I look at some of the things that got me through a tough time, I'll go back in the 80s, and then of course many other tough times from that, right? Personally, professionally, it really is mental toughness. So I had affirmations. The more stressful the situation, the calmer I become. So I have self-talk, affirmational, personal growth. But I tell you what, it took me back in the 80s, because I didn't know what I didn't know. It took grit. I just had to wake up every day and I was going forward. There was no option not to. Failure wasn't an option. I don't care if I want a paycheck without a year or whatever. Believe me, there's a lot of you that were with us even back then, you know, Jim and I and Elby and all that. We were just going forward. We didn't know what the hell we were doing because we're in our 30s, but we figured out and we went and we didn't overthink it. We just knew what we had to do because it was common sense, right?
Yeah.
And while we weren't freaking out, we were getting very solution oriented. And like I said, we went out paid without paychecks. We almost went broke, all that stuff. But I had to go through it to learn it. And for you, most of you right now, this is that period of time. This will be a defining moment in your life personally, professionally, financially, mentally, and emotionally. This will make you stronger than ever before. But
Yeah.
you got to go through it to learn it. I knew my time back in the 80s, I thought it would never end. Is this forever? This will end. There'll be a vaccine. You got too many people working on it around the world. It's going to be a while. I don't want to kid you. It's going to be a while. That's why I say you better watch your pennies now and make sure you're taking care of yourself and your family first when it comes to good health. So I can do a session on basically grit, self-talk, affirmations, mindset during tough times. What are you doing for tough times? So you guys just have to kind of send me a list in my email, saul@johnlscott.com, so I can get a priority list. And between the leadership team, we'll try to get this organized through moving
great.
forward. But we're going to have an offense in place. Then you guys got to step up and do. We can't do that for you.
Sounds great. Okay, so let's dive in a little bit on the virtual real estate world of Robin. Robin thinks it's weird when people talk about themselves in the third person. So to talk a little bit about how this all came about, I really try to only, again, start at 10 and I end at 6. Esteban works with me. He knows I don't take a break for lunch. We don't just sit on our asses. I'll get something fixed downstairs for us. We bring it up and we're eating while we're working. That's just how it goes. I make potato chips, basically slice an apple so they're round like a potato chip and eat them that way. Works for us. Almonds, just fresh, easy food for us to have a little snack on. And then we simply go for it. And when we're going for it, I always thinking fear in the face of uncertainty can blind many to the infinite possibilities that are arising. These times are going to make some of us incredible amounts of wealth and incredible magnets to people out there in the world who are looking for sunshine and hope. So I've got one that says, even in the midst of fear and anxiety, I possess the creative capability to overcome this situation and come out the other side even more calm, more centered, more giving, more loving, more compassionate, healthier, wealthier, happier, wiser. That's what I'm after. And when shit hits the fan like now, it excites me. This is when I've always done better. 9/11, I did great. 2007, 2008, knocked it out of the park. So rise to this occasion, find your inner ninja and really go for it. So right now, there are people who do need to sell. They've either purchased something a few months ago and now they need to sell their current residence, or they're divorcing, or they may have just lost their job. And we need to be careful because certainly some people will be able to weather the storm, but other people, if they don't sell now, could simply lose up all their equity in this fight and end up with no nest egg in their back pocket. So when I'm talking to people, I'm trying to really find out what they need and how I can help them. And then I keep my list of who do I need to focus on. And those who are in this process and are trying to decide whether to list or not, I keep a little Post-it note with their names on it in front of me so that I don't get scattered. What can I do to help them move forward in a positive light today? And so I'm touching my hot leads, as one would call it, on an ongoing basis to find out what do they need? How can I help them find hope through this, have a plan through this, and be basically at the helm for them through these difficult times. I love to lead people through the valley. So when I have an appointment and someone's like, hey, I really do need to buy or sell or whatever, right now, the first thing I do is talk to them a little bit about the virus itself and what we want to do to be careful. So I'll role play with you on this a little bit. So Saul, I'm so excited to have you give me this call and an opportunity to talk to you about selling your place right now. It sounds like you want to be sold by the end of this month, end of next. Is
That would be
right?
great. Yes.
Okay. And why, Saul? Why now?
Well, basically, we're moving down to California to be with our grandkids, and this is the prime time for us to go right now.
Oh, you're so right. That sounds so cool. Way to go to be brave and make the big decision to stay closer to family. I love it. So Saul, typically what happens is I'm going to need to see that real estate in order to be in a position to help you price it correctly. And pricing more than ever is important that we peg it right the first time. So tell me a little bit about how you're feeling right now. We have protocol in order to be safe and sound, but I'd need to have either you or Mary exit when I'm in the house. We're only allowed to be in a home with 2 people at a time, and I'm one of them. So will that work for you, or would you rather do this online?
Well, I prefer, we trust you, so we're okay with you coming to the house. We prefer that maybe you wear a mask or gloves and booties or something like that. Because we're older, we're a little bit more vulnerable, and not that you have it, but we're very, very cautious right now. And my wife, if she has a pre-existing condition or something like that. So we don't mind you coming to the house. That way you get a view of it, but we would definitely want you to have something on so we feel comfortable. And then, so that's kind of what we were thinking as we were talking before.
Wise man, Saul. I think we both need to assume that when I come over that I do have it and that you have it, because that's the nature of this beast. One can have it without giving any signs. So our protocol is before I hop into the car, I'll thoroughly wash my hands, full on happy birthday song twice to make sure they're clean. And when I leave, I use the Clorox wipes. I'll be wiping my steering wheel down before I grab it. And then I've got protective gloves. And I'm more than happy to wear a kerchief over my face. I don't have masks at this time. If you're not comfortable with that, are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, just put something on your face.
Okay, yeah, cover up your face,
Cover
lady.
up your face, lady.
All right. And then since it sounds like you're feeling of the 2 of you, Mary may be the more vulnerable health-wise.
Possibly, yeah.
All right. So is it possible when I come that we have Mary in the car?
Yeah, she'll go outside in the backyard.
That'd be great. All right. Hopefully it's not raining.
Yeah.
So date and time gets set. Wonderful, wonderful. And let's go from there. So then appointment set. We are, here's something I do a lot. I play out worst case scenario in my mind. And the worst case scenario is that I see 10 people this week and I don't wash my hands and I don't protect them. And all 10 of them get the coronavirus because I was carrying it and I didn't know. And then the news gets a hold of the fact that I was the realtor who infected 10 people, and it grew exponentially, all because of me. So if I play that in my head, now I play the opposite. I'm the one who's extra careful. I'm the one who protects my husband and makes sure when I come home, I'm showering, guys. I'm being so redonkulously careful that if I'm on the front line, which we are as realtors, when I'm back with my family, I am so careful. I get back in my car, I take off my gloves, I've got a little garbage can they go into, my steering wheel was already clean, I drive home, clothes come off, I'm in the shower, and I start over. So it's taking more time, but the thought of infecting my husband is one that I will not allow. If I give my best in every situation. Even if something happens, I've got the peace of mind that I did my best. So do your best. Okay. So then I get to their house. Just a standard practice of mine. I always get there a few minutes early because I need to reground. I'm driving, don't know where I'm going. You know, driving is a scattered bit of life. So once I get to someone's home and I'm sure I've got the address right, I then go back into kind of a meditative clearing of my mind. What is my purpose here? And it's to use my creativity in their situation and be present 100% for them and be ready to hear what they need from me so I'm the best servant I can be for them. So I kind of take a few minutes. I have a fun game. It's just redonkulous, but I love to be at the door. If the appointment's at 10 a.m., I love to be at the door at 10 a.m. So gloves are on. I'll ring the doorbell with an elbow. I don't want to mess my gloves up just in case they had someone carrying coronavirus dinging their doorbell. And then I walk in and start meeting with them. At that point, it goes into a standard first appointment. So Saul's at the door. Hey, Saul, just wanted to make sure you've got Mary back in that backyard so we protect her.
Yep, she's in the back.
Awesome. Gloves on, protection on. And so let's maintain that 6 feet between the two of us.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So isn't it wild? The average arm is about 3. So if you and I were standing, not touching hands, let's kind of figure out how far we need to stay from each other so we visually have that cue. Ready, go, and then off we go. When we're in the house now, I bring stuff with me, and that's, oh, you guys probably can't see this. The black box of love, I bring it in. I don't leave the black boxes anymore because I don't want to leave anything that I've touched, which is great. You save the money of leaving a black box. And then I'll show them stuff, but I don't leave it. So Saul, as we walk through the house today, I'm going to take copious notes. And that's because I want to really discern the points of your home that gives it value that otherwise a buyer may not realize. And if I can sell the value and the special features of your home, they'll become discerning buyers and they'll start watching to see if the other houses they're looking at has that same quality. Does that make sense?
Sounds perfect.
And things that people can't see. I'll give you an example, Saul. So pull out drawers to maximize spaces. Since we don't want people touching and opening drawers, we'll want to tell them about this. So as we're walking through, and perhaps you can share this with Mary, I'll make a note, write down on my pad, to share with Mary afterward, because again, you guys, you want to bring Mary into this even though she's not there right now. What are the special features this house has that people can't visually see? So unless it's noted that it's a new furnace on the front of a sticker and an agent's paying attention, which you've got to assume that they don't, you want to put new furnace 2017, if that's indeed the case. So in our old house, we had all the interior walls insulated. It was awesome. It was back in the days where you could hear a fax machine, and I could hear a fax machine go off in the middle of the night, which meant an offer was coming in. So it was a way to.
Would you have the seller before the buyer got there? Would you have the seller open the closets and everything like that so the buyers can see it, or would you just leave it? What would you do? What would you do?
I'd kick out the seller. I don't want
So the sellers are gone. No, the sellers are out of the house.
Yeah.
Before the sellers went out of the house, did the sellers open the closet doors and all that so the buyers can see in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we purchased online a ton of, and they were super cheap, but door stoppers, so that doors are held open. So if we get there early, we can use our own door stoppers because a lot of people's doors don't stay open.
Okay. So now I'm watching the clock. So now you're going back to your house. Take me now. What do you do for me on virtual from here, from this point on? You saw my house. Now what happens?
Yep. So I've shared with you, I wipe down with my Clorox bleach a calendar and I leave it there. I talk to them a little bit and show them an example of our flyer, because when I send it to you to look over, There'll be a list of all the special features on the back, and it'll be in, you'll look it over to make sure you like it. And I just want you to be aware, Saul, in the, when I send it to you as a PDF, you can see your front photo is going to be upside down, and that's simply because they fold.
Okay.
So I've shared that with you, so you're kind of ready there. This is on that first appointment still. I show them that what a new on market postcard is and talk to them a little bit about that. This is stuff, if you can show it to them so that when you do your presentation online, they've seen it before, it's going to resonate. And then we show them the perma flyer, and depending on which one we do, there's either this perma flyer, right? The one sheet, or on some of them with lots of walkability, we'll also do this one where they can see, this will take them, this scan board will take them directly to the John L. Scott website.
So what would happen now if you didn't come to my house and we did this virtually?
Easy enough.
Same
So
thing.
Saul, have you ever used FaceTime before? Or Zoom or Skype? Can I help you through? And just like anything, guys, we are wonderful at solving problems. That's what we do for a living, right? So if it's someone, Saul's a great example. Probably the first time you Skyped Saul, it was probably a little scary and weird.
It was clunky, huh, Colin? It was clunky.
Yeah. So I help teach people through. If I'm in the house with them, I try to get them, it's usually the wife who is the leader in the family time and again when it comes to real estate. And I'll be like, gosh, Mary, it looks like you've really been picking up and getting this house looking super for me. Thank you so much. Did you do that? And she'll say, yes. And I'll go, how about this? When we meet a second time, now that I've seen the product, I can start positioning my marketing specifically for your house. And when I do so, wouldn't it be nice to be able to be relaxed, just you and Saul in the house without worrying about it being clean or not? Because we can connect online, and that way you'll see into the MLS. I'm going to actually have you see the Northwest MLS list of all houses with me on your screen. Wouldn't that be cool? Guys, everybody loves this. People don't want to clean their house, and they don't want to put on their makeup, and they want to stay in their sweats. So to allow them to be relaxed in their own home, people focus really well on computer screens because they're used to doing so. And so if I'm in the house with Saul on this first appointment, I'll bring in my Surface and I'll set him up to Zoom. Or
Right now, I just want to make sure everyone's clear. If I'm clear, we can still go on a first appointment if one person's in the house with the new guidelines, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we did this. And so virtually, if I said, no, don't come to my house,
yeah,
right?
easy enough. We're doing it on FaceTime. The listing that we have that hits the market, hopefully today, we're all ready to go. I just want to see what one sells or is supposed to close for today. That one's out in Enumclaw. And, you know, I did my best to have her list with someone who really is down in that area. And she, I mean, I've known her for a dozen years, and she's like, can't you do this? Can't you do it? So now I'm working on it, but I'm like, I don't want to drive to Enumclaw. That's, you know, I want to. And she's like, that's no problem. I'm like, okay, so FaceTime with me. And I FaceTimed through the house with her. So I'd be like, let's do one room at a time. Move this, do this, take this. Is that a solid car door? What are the features I need to sell? And so she just walked me through with her phone. Worked out easy enough.
Okay, so now take me, now you went back to your home. How do you,
Yep.
I haven't signed the contract yet, right?
Ah,
So what do you do now virtually with me? How does this turn into a virtual presentation?
you haven't signed the contract yet because I haven't shared with you my marketing. So
Right,
if you're a driver, I could tell you, there's two ways to do this. I could just show you an overview of how we market a house, or we could meet online together and I'll show you a strategy for your specific home and what I would do specific for your home only to get it sold.
so let's go virtual now. So now you're
Okay.
back at, okay, you just left my house.
So you have agreed to go virtual. I'll get you set up virtually before I leave your house. So I'll send you a go-to meeting on my laptop in your house. Well, now we're 6 feet apart from each other. You'll log onto your computer. I'll download GoToMeeting on your computer for you and make it seamless. So you don't have to do anything once I send you your meeting request.
Okay. So now when you
So the
go
more
back,
you guys,
when you go back
ahead.
to your house, right?
Yep.
As far as the contract and go over the contract with me, that's all done from you online with me.
yes,
Okay, on GoToMeeting.
yes.
Okay.
And then I would be ready to go through a full one-on-one appointment with you. I don't know. So do people do paper on listing appointments when they're with people? I don't know how they do. How do people do it?
So why don't you just give us an example of what you'd be showing me now, either with, you'd go over the contract with me.
Yes.
What are a few of the marketing pieces you'd be showing me when you go back at your home now virtually? So my wife and I now are sitting down here and we're working with you. What are you showing us virtually?
I take you through a full listing presentation.
Okay.
So a PowerPoint presentation, and it's specific to you. So the monument for your neighborhood, when you first come in,
Right.
I'd have a picture of the monument as one of my slides. I would have asked you, gosh, who do you think the buyer will be? And you'll talk about a first-time home buyer or someone with kids, at which point I need to sell how great your schools are compared to other schools so that I could get the buyer who's looking at schools that your house rides to versus other parts of Renton. So I'll show them how we'll get rid of the competition by selling you through the best schools possible.
Right.
We would know all the local parks. We would know walking distance to the Fairwood Mall. Would have a picture of the mall. We would show people on sidewalks walking. So I would then go back and show exactly why we know about what you want to sell and why we would be the best to do it. And if you, and I ask people all the time, do you have a kind of a visualization in your head as to who that buyer will be? Even if I think they're totally wrong, I'm still going to completely put together part of my presentation hitting that buyer market.
So Jim has
So
a
if you
text to me, Robin, how about a marketing schedule and how are you managing sellers' expectations in this market? And what are you saying to them about this market and managing their expectations? So marketing schedule and managing sellers' expectations in this changing market.
So when we go through the listing presentation and we show them everything that we want to do, then we have a checklist for every item on there, so nothing falls through the cracks. And then, so when are you thinking, based on when we met together, I'm looking at your awesome office, and with all those books, I'd love to start getting your product ready. Would you be in a position to maybe remove a third of those books so those bookshelves are a little bit more open?
Sure.
Are you willing to do a little bit of work in order to get that maximum dollar out of it?
Yes, we need a list from you on what we need to do to get top dollar from our home.
Okay. So typically what we would do is when you list with me, we'll sign the listing agreement, and then we'll go back and start really looking at the condition items that we can work together on taking care of for you.
That sounds like a great great plan.
Thanks.
So I got a couple questions here. One from Shai's beeping in. How are you dealing with no for sale signs? So you can go over what you and I talked about.
Yeah.
If you can go over the no sale signs, what the solution you came up with.
Yeah. So I'm going to share screen again. See this sign, guys? I love it. So we had these signs made last year, and my challenge is that when we list a property, the second we're on the market, so I let a seller know, here's how it's going to go. We're going to fill out your listing input sheets. We're going to make a list of all your features. I'm going to have you double check, collaborate with me to make sure we're selling all the frosting with the cake. Then once we've got that, all your features and the photos are taken, we're going to caption them. I'm going to have you look again. So we start listings right at 8 a.m. So first thing in the morning, we'll come on the market. I'll send it to you. You will have already seen all the captions, so we know it's perfect from day one. And my challenge with sellers, I don't know if you guys had this before, but our sign company order system says no sooner than, let's just say, Friday. Well, crap, I want the sign going in at 8 a.m. Friday morning if we list then. Because the sellers, they have so few touch points to see that we're really working hard. A lot of it's behind the scenes that I want to show them we're really moving right off the bat. So this sign, we post in the sign or post in the yard that morning, or we'll tell the seller to pop it out next morning at 8 o'clock and up it goes. And then down below here, we're now putting the mobile search sign. But this is great. This is a big ass sign. And I reached out to Art Miro, who created it for us. And guess what? He works out of his home. He's still in business and he's ready to make these for all of us out there. So if you guys want these, we'll get that information out to you. So the first appointment I went on yesterday, I told them, gosh, ask the other agent, because they're looking at someone else, ask that other agent what specifically they're going to do to address signs, because sign companies can't post right now. I've got you covered. Just make sure they do too, because signs bring, it's a National Association of Realtors, it's almost 10% of buyers see a sign. So we want to have a sign ready. Does that answer it?
That's awesome. That's going back old school. We're going back to those signs from the
I know.
1970s,
I
80s,
know.
80s. Crazy ass, you know? So so now you went back to your house. Uh-oh, my screen just went gone.
I just closed one. Hold on, I'll stop a share.
That's
There
okay.
you go.
I don't need to be on there. Okay,
There you
so you went back. Now my wife and I are in front of the screen. You're showing me your marketing pieces. How's it now? How do you go handle the listing contract itself online with me? My wife and I are going over the listing agreement with you.
So
What are you doing?
I finish up with you, and basically, I'm not a hard closer. I'll be like, Saul, it sounds like you're really excited to work together. Am I right?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Perfect. So I've got the paperwork ready, and what's so nice is you two can sign online. You guys, I'm one. I go to people's houses once. That's it. If they're really old, like some of my really old, I've got an old guy now. Oh my God, I broke that rule. I'll bet I was there 10 times, but he's a really sweet old guy.
So if we're just doing it virtually though, and you're not here, how am I doing the paperwork with you? Let's say I told you not to come to my house.
Easy.
Yeah. good.
I use Transaction Desk and Authentisign.
Okay.
So I'll send it to you. Can you open a PDF file, Saul?
No. What's
Jesus, you don't know shit, man.
that? You said you had an old person. That's not me.
Let me help you learn how to do so.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'll show them how to do so, walk them through.
Okay.
A lot of times we've go to a meeting and brought on a kid so the kid can speak to dad in a language that dad understands and help dad be able to sign. But our old guy, who's super duper old, he's 89, he's now stuck in a nursing home and he's signing documents with me. So I'm like, hey, Stan, I'm sending you a document to sign online. I'm going to stay on the computer with you and I want you to open your email and together I'm going to walk you through. And I just stay on the phone and help them through it. So you could do it with a friend until you know how to teach them how to do it.
Anything else we need to know on the seller side? I'm just watching my clock. Anything else we need to do on the seller side virtually that you want to share with us that's helped you the most? And updating so just you and I update my phone, right? I'm now in your system. You guys,
Yes.
Are we FaceTiming or how are you updating me now that I'm in your pipeline?
So then I ask you, hey, Saul, now that we're set up, what works best for you? Do you like texting or email? Do you like to see my beautiful face in front of you like now? Or what's best for us to connect? What works for you?
Okay, so cool.
And then I'll say, in the beginning, that first week or so, many times we're in touch on a daily basis there in the beginning because, gosh, maybe we've missed a feature and an agent, because we'll reach out to every agent that shows it. What did they think? What did their buyers think? Is there any outstanding interest in the property? Is there any questions we can get answered for them? If there's a question that we haven't answered on our feature cards or in the flyer, we're going to need to go back and plug that hole. That's a hole in the dike. So we don't want any other buyer to walk through with that same question. We'll get it answered and we'll get it posted there in your house for you so that they too can leave with full confidence that they know what we're selling.
Okay. So if anyone out there has any questions that we haven't hit or something else you want to hit, just email, you could put the Q&A now, Colin will pick it up, or you could just email it to me at solly@johnlscott.com, and we'll kind of take it from there. So now, go ahead. Go ahead.
These are just great. I thought you were waiting. These are great ones too. I'll get these too.
Yeah, okay. So now I need to know now, we're shifting a little bit. What do you do virtually with buyers?
So Esteban works with the buyers and he rocks. They love him. He's
Yes, he
so
does.
heart-based. It's perfect. So he does the actual showing of houses. And then I do the buyer presentation with them and get them signed up. And I'll let people know right out of the gate. I don't think I'm supposed to say our commission. I'm a full service real estate agent at a full service fee. What you get more than you'll get everywhere else is you'll get someone who's really working on your behalf to get you your home the way you want it, with the terms, condition, as you want it, and you'll know what's going on through the whole process. So my hope is, let's get on the MLS together. So I'll hop on the MLS. Once in a while, there'll be a wild listing out there and it's at a super low commission. Let's just say $500. Most agents don't want to work for $500, but for you and I, that's our time to shine. Because if we could find a listing with a terrible selling office commission and we're at our set commission, I'm going to share it with you and show it to you and help you get that house. And under our buyer agreement, we'll get that commission from the seller, or I'll show you, if you decide to buy it, what our fee will be, because we're a set fee. I'll give you an example and I'll run a scenario with them. If this is how bad it could be based on your price range. But I see those low commissions as our opportunity. All other realtors are trying not to have that hard talk with their buyers, where we are trying to say, hey, there's a low commission one that may slow activity on it because agents are the ones who open up the doors. Let's go get it.
Okay, so pretty much everything's online and all that. So now you've gotten real techie and savvy. Were there any classes or seminars or anything you'd recommend to people? How did you get so tech savvy and comfortable these last 5 years with all this shit?
So guys, think about this. I started when I was 26. I'm 58. So if you look at me from a business standpoint, and I'm talking to someone like Colin, young, he's going to be like, oh, she's an old bag. I don't want to work with someone old. They're irrelevant. So if I can take 31 years of experience and put it with relevant knowledge of technology, that's the best of both worlds. That's how I can smash the shit out of someone who's young but doesn't have the experience. If I may do so, I'll do my best to. So technology's in my favor, and it'll be on one of these to-dos. What's the one skill I need to learn in order to move the needle and make me money today? What one piece of technology do I need? Focus on one at a time, get it figured out. I love Outlook. With emails, I don't know if you know this, but if someone's like, hey, get back to me Wednesday, you can pick up that email and move it on your calendar till Wednesday. And there's the whole email string of that conversation, so you can pick back up and know where you were with that person. So, no, if I need it, I'll either find someone who has the information or I'll go to YouTube and find it there. Typically, I learn from other people.
So bottom line, she's out. She's solving whatever. If she sees a problem in her program, she's finding the solutions, and that's why she's always going to be in the top 5% of the industry. You know, top 1%. Yeah. You got to keep sharpening your axe and be hungry for knowledge, but go find the solutions. Solutions all around us. There's usually solutions all around us if we slow down and look for them. You got to hold wealth here. So we got a few more minutes. So what are you doing today? Okay, you got a big database. How many people in your database that you're servicing?
4,300 is what we have now. Right before the virus hit, we hired a company who's no longer doing it because we broke their bank, who took everyone on my phone, everyone on Top Producer, everyone on Esteban's phone, which he doesn't keep contacts like old people do. I don't know what young people do, but they don't keep them that way. So I think his was like 25 or something, and assembled them all in Top Producer. And now
wait 1 second. How many people, like, I guess the question I'm going to ask you is, as we're moving through these more challenging times, we're watching every penny. What are you doing for marketing? Because all your business is referral repeat pretty much. What are you doing for marketing in these times? What are you sending them so you're relevant with today's voice and message? What are you sending me? What are you doing to keep you be the voice in today's world?
Yeah. So BombBomb, I love BombBomb is great. It's an easy way to connect with people. So BombBomb is one. Don't do the expensive program. There's no need to. There's a cheap one. Do it. I did the expensive one. I don't think it's worth it. It just kicks you in the ass each month to put something out, but it's pretty general content. And I feel like we need to be careful not to send out such general content that people think it's not relevant. If you're going to send something, make sure that whoever you are, I'm the end product, the buck stops here. So when my staff makes something, I want to see it and make sure it's perfect before it goes out, because that's a true reflection of myself. So BombBomb is great.
Beauty Just Listed, Just Sold, anything in the mail right now?
Yeah. So just so that you know, I've got a lot of rentals, and on those I get the letters in the mail. Hey, I got a buyer for your property. So we get like 7 to 10 letters a week. That's why I'm thinking this method is saturated, which I really feel it was. But now we haven't received anything. Everyone's so pulling back financially that this is a time. We're about to do a letter out because we've got a buyer in an area of Bellevue wanting a specific school district. So we drew a border around that school district, and that's who we're targeting. And then we'll telemarket behind it for that specific buyer, because they need a house. So I'd be, like Saul said, count every penny. Anytime you do a mailer, it's a little bit of a roll the dice. I've got the finances to do that. If you don't, go to the basics. Pick up the fucking phone. Call people. There's nothing better. And you'll find, even though it's hard to do, as soon as you connect with someone and you hear yourself resonate in their heart, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. And when you feel better, you do better.
So you send out Just Listed or Just Sold or anything like that?
We do. So I've got that set up on a standard. Just Listed goes out to 200. Just Sold goes out to 200. Pending goes out to 200. And then those are those postcards that I showed you.
And you order those through who?
Those are on Bear Printing, but it's on an auto program. Anytime I list, the second it lists, up comes an email saying, hey, we'll send out your new on market. I hit one button, one and done, and you don't have to reinvent it.
Okay, so guys, what the message here is we're not in Kansas anymore. What was old is now new. Okay, the letter that Robin's talking about, I gave out at the Tom Ferry thing in January. That's because we didn't have any inventory. Now, all the iBuyers are gone. Redfin stopped selling, doesn't want to buy anymore. They're all done, right? So now these letters are for your sellers who don't want anybody through their home. So now the sellers are more meaningful than ever. Now everything, like the video BombBomb she's talking about, now is that a general BombBomb to all your database? So it's efficient, right?
So what's fun is tomorrow is day 7 of us as realtors being able to go out in the marketplace and show real estate again. And I think that'll be, I want to do one tomorrow. I'm going to do, because you do it by your database, I want to do it for Bellevue, for my Bellevue folks first, and then we can do in our database by city. But Market Watch, which you can set up on the MLS, you can go back and say, okay, for each city you work in, and then for the county in general, so that you have good data on a big enough scale that the data matters. What are the numbers? So that's where I was quoting the 37 listings on the market, 17 had already sold. Those, and then I've got the ability to share with them and show them the facts. You've got to be damn sure that you know exactly what you're talking about so that you are the trusted source for real estate information in your area.
Okay, so I have a couple things I want to go over at the end. We have couple more minutes, Robin, for you. What do you want to make sure you covered, maybe that you haven't covered, and anything you want to say about anything?
You guys are dear to me, whether you know it or not, you are. And if I could pick you all up and put you in my pocket, I would. And I wish you guys all the best through this. We are going to be better on the other side. I promise you. I'm old enough to know it, and I wish you all the very best.
Robin, you've been great. Thanks. So before we hang up here, I just want to go through a couple things. On the ABCs of positive thinking, the P one will be people will never forget how you made them feel. And this is probably never more important than now. You got to realize if 40 days ago we were doing all this stuff, it was a whole different world. You had a 30,000 stock market. Today you have a 20,000 stock market. We had 100 people through open houses. We had multiple offers. We're not in Kansas anymore. Wizard of Oz, not in Kansas anymore. People are there at home. The Verizon stat from the CEO, the Verizon stat he was talking about, he said basically Mother's Day is always their most popular day of calls. And I think, I don't know, it's 400,000 or whatever number. It's double every day now. The Mother's Day, the duration of the call is 30 minutes. People are on the phone. And he also said that people are calling to get their plans negotiated out. So just know that's happening. So that people are feeling that. But you got to make sure you don't know where they're coming from. Put yourself in their shoes. They might be laid off. They might be this. You're coming from comfort and support. There was another quote I kind of found. It was in my video yesterday. Now this was from Winston Churchill. So some of you don't know who it was. You could Google it. World War II. He was a war hero, a leader. Excuse me, world leader. And he said in Great Britain, United Kingdom, right? And of course, he was very leader in succeeding winning the war. Here's what he said about Americans. Winston Churchill, look it up. You can always count on Americans to do the right things after they have tried everything else. That's kind of what we're doing. The Americans are coming together. Republicans, Democrats, the best they can are coming together. Our pharmaceutical companies are working together, not competing together. The whole world is going through this together, and we're kind of blindly getting through it. But you know what? We're going to be strong on the other side. But we're all going through it together. America is the strongest country. It'll come up with the solutions. I don't care who's the president, Congress, Senate. I don't control that shit. I control what I control. I wake up every day. I do my 10-10. I review my goals. I just rewrote my 10-year personal goals because now they're tweaking and changing because what I'm doing, I'm also rewriting my 5-year professional goals because everything's changed. I would rewrite my 10-year personal goals or 5, whatever, 3 to 5 year professional goals because it's changing. I need a 30-day goals and daily schedule because I'm in these guidelines and environment right now. I'm going 30 days. But also for a fun family project, have your kids do their own vision board or dream board, or your wife. Have their come up. Tell your kids, you got all the money in the world. What do you want to do when this is all over and we can get out of the house again? Blah, blah. Have them think outside and moving forward. Some of us are a little too stuck in today and not thinking about tomorrow. And the future is going to come one way or the other. You can plan for the future. So you got to realize we're in it for the long run. We're all in it together. And I just want to thank you all for being on the call. If you want to email me, sola@johnlscott.com. We're taking all suggestions. Robin, thank you so much. We love you, babe. Bye, everybody.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.